So only yesterday I did a video on Chris Bagzarian, the poor 85-year-old grandfather who lost his life by a set of Tom and Jerry kidnappers who really messed it up. But just today we're hearing stories of a new kidnapping of a 53-year-old gentleman taken from a tobacco.
All I have in this world is my morals, my word, and I don't break them for good.
Rightio legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we're back again with another banger. And so today we're talking about another kidnapping. Can you believe it that another kidnapping has gone on in Sydney where a 53-year-old man was kidnapped from out the front of a tobacco shop in Sydney at 6 a.m. in the morning by four balaclava clad men. But before we get into it, legends, if you haven't already subscribed, please jump down there, shoot me a subscription. That'd be absolutely appreciated. And if you jump up there and tap that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. Well, rightio, let's get into it. So, another kidnapping has gone on, and four people. The footage is actually quite crazy. So you see 90% of the kidnapping, you see them run up and grab the man, and they then packed him into a car and drove him off. And so the police were alerted, and they then found the victim and a 16-year-old boy at a property in Dural. So, I mean, it just goes to show that every single generation, now I've always said this, even when I was a youngster, I noticed it. I noticed that my generation of people were crazier than the generation of criminals before me. And I noticed that, the next generation after me were just next level crazy again. And it actually, like, it shows. You just have to chuck the news on, and it just shows. You can see that today's criminals are actually next level crazy. And as a matter of fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if the next underbelly wasn't called is going to be called underbelly tobacco or underbelly teenage craziness or something like that. Like, it is just next level, and I think it absolutely shows. You can see that as the generations get on, that they just do more and more crazy things. So what I noticed was, I can tell you, I seen when I was coming up in that criminal world, I would see what the people before me were like showing me how to do things, and I would look at every single turn what I could do to like times that by 10 and make it as crazy as I could, so it had maximum impact. So I actually, like I said, I noticed it myself. I was a part of that generation trying to be crazier than the generation before. And I mean, like, it's just getting next level now. It's almost like, when did we become like Mexico, and people are just literally getting taken off our streets, which is just next level. And it's really getting like that, where it's kind of like Mexico, where crazy things are happening. We have broad daylight shootings, and we have broad daylight kidnappings, and the stuff that's happening today is not the same stuff that was happening 10 years ago. Yes, this kind of thing was happening, but it was always behind closed doors, and like the crime was not so in your face, and people who were doing the crime, made an effort to kind of keep it behind closed doors, and not in the public eye. Whereas the crime of today is total opposite. They want total maximum effect, and they want, you know, everyone to know about what's going on, which is, it's crazy and it's absolutely dangerous. But let's take a look at this footage from this next kidnapping. Another one, and another old fella as well, which is, it's a bit sad, but another crazy one. Here we go.
We have shocking vision tonight showing the moment another man is abducted in a violent kidnapping in Western Sydney. The 53-year-old target was bashed by a masked gang, dragged down a street and then held hostage for 2 days. He was rescued this morning, police raiding a rural property, finding him injured but alive.
They hunted in a pack. These 4 masked thugs knew exactly who they were looking for, running to their target, dragging him down the footpath, kicking and screaming.
Now watch this. Watch how many cars drive past. Now I don't blame people for not wanting to pull over, considering it is 4 balaclava clad men dragging another man up the street. But watch how many cars drive
A brazen
past here.
kidnapping caught on CCTV. The 53-year-old victim tries to fight back but is overpowered, bashed by the gang who bundled.
And a 4th one there coming past, and the guy actually put up a pretty good fight. But in reality, like, I think you can see that they are not children as well. Like, I'll say that much. They look like they've got a fair size about them, and the child that they did arrest does not have any size about him. So, I mean, really, what can someone do in that situation? But yeah, the cars just driving past, and this, you got to understand, this is a main street at 6 o'clock in the morning. So obviously, cars are going to be just as many cars as if it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon, because there's people going to work and stuff like that. And it just blows my mind that this stuff is just happening so willy-nilly and so in your face, and there's just zero care about anything. Zero care about cameras, zero care about onlookers, zero care about the cars that are driving past. It's very brazen and crazy
him
these
into
days.
a car. This shocking abduction unfolding around 6 a.m. Tuesday outside a tobacconist at Mount Pritchard.
Speechless, really. It's just disappointing. Like, we don't do that to one another, you know?
This, the start of a 50-hour ordeal. The victim taken 30 kilometres away to Dural.
Very scary, very scary. To be in a car with a bunch of people you don't know, just to take you somewhere you don't know, yeah, very scary.
The 53-year-old ended up here on a rural property in Dural. Around 10:30 this morning, police raided it, rescuing the man who was taken to hospital.
He shouldn't have been kidnapped in the first place.
Also discovered at the Dural hostage house, a 16-year-old boy. He's been arrested but not charged. His involvement in the bizarre kidnapping.
Well, there you go. He's been arrested but not charged. I mean, look, they might be a little bit up. They don't look actually as big in that kind of close up. And they've all got their favourite running shoes on, the TNs, obviously.
Isn't clear. Residents say they heard screams on Tuesday morning, but they didn't realise what was unfolding. They've told 10 News they no longer feel safe here. The Western Sydney shopping strip is no stranger to trouble. The supermarket next door to the tobacconist has been torched 4 times in a matter of months.
Well, I'm starting to get used to it, but it's just going to be on the joke because this shouldn't be happening.
The motive behind this brazen abduction.
I mean, I absolutely believe that the next Underbelly series is definitely going to be something like, you know, Underbelly Tobacco Wars or something like that, because it's just next level, this tobacco stuff, and like, that's really all I'll say on it. But yeah, it's next level, and it just seems like, you know, the gangs obviously use the younger, more impressionable teens that are, like, obviously, like I said, trying to come up in that field, trying to make a name for themselves, and it's sad. It's sad because, you know, although they have just said there that there's been no charges laid, but something like this would ruin a 16-year-old's life. Like, that's it. You would literally probably get, for a serious kidnapping like that, where they said the person was injured, like, I don't know, would be different for a youth. But if that was like myself, and especially like with my priors, I would get well over 10 years for that. But even a first time offender would probably get 5 to 8 years for a kidnapping like that.
Is a mystery tonight as police hunt exactly who is responsible. What
Bang! He actually landed right on the dude's leg then too. Like that would
they
have
do
friggin'
know is
hurt.
that this is in no way linked to the deadly kidnapping of Chris Bagsarian. John Paul Gon.
So yeah, another kidnapping of an elderly gentleman this week. Obviously, Chris Bagzarian, who unfortunately lost his life. I did a video on that yesterday, and it just seems like I don't understand. Obviously, there's some ill-gotten gains in tobacco business allegedly. So I mean, you would imagine that that would be the motive behind something like this. Or I mean, maybe not paying the right protection money or whatever. Who knows? This whole the whole monopoly of the streets now is just bonkers. And I mean, I would imagine that if you open a tobacco shop and are selling like vapes and tobacco, that you would be expecting this type of thing to happen. It's yeah, I think that's like a prerequisite these days of a tobacco shop.
10 News.
Well, yeah, there you go. It's pretty alarming footage, and like I said, really, what is somebody going to do? We're living in dangerous times, ladies and gentlemen, and like I said, these crimes just keep on getting worse and worse and worse, and it just seems like I said, it's the generation thing. It's the younger kids that are trying to impress the older kids, and you just see it younger and younger and younger. Kids are trying drugs and stuff like that at a younger age, and kids are getting into very serious crimes at a very young age. So just last year, there was multiple teenagers that were arrested and charged and convicted over a few of the Sydney underworld murders that had taken place, and they were just teenagers. And so, like I said, it's sad. They're very impressionable. I understand it. I've been in that world and I've wanted to impress people before, and I'm just glad that I didn't go down that kind of path. Although the path I walked was not so, it wasn't a good one either. But I was still doing crime and whatnot, but we still weren't doing this kind of crimes. There was kind of like we used to say barley, right? We would say, remember when you used to play Tiggy when you were a kid and you like grab onto the pole and you'd say the pole's barley, I can't go eat. And we used to say the same thing, We used to say that women and children are barley, and innocent people of society are barley and out of bounds. And those rules are 100% out the window now. But also, I mean, you can't even think that someone would open a tobacco shop anywhere in the country and not expect to get some kind of like crazy stuff going on, because it's quite obviously that certain people run the monopoly on the tobacco, and there's never ever going to be a way around it. And this is exactly why people get kidnapped and places get burnt down, because they don't toe the line to what the people who are running the monopoly are telling them to do. And it obviously is a very dangerous game to play. And like I said, I 100% believe that the next Underbelly series will definitely be about the tobacco wars. It just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. And yeah, people are getting kidnapped, people are losing their lives, and it's just next level. We are living in dangerous times, and it's sad. And it's only just this week that in Victoria they introduced the adult crime, adult time laws. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But the truth is, we really don't even have infrastructure like the prisons to accommodate for that. The prison system, even though they're building more and more prisons every single year here in Victoria, they are always packed to the brim. And so now when you're going to start sending teenagers to adult prisons and giving them adult time. And look, I actually 100% agree. If you're going to go out there and do, big boy crimes, you should act like a big boy and cop the big boy time. And I 100% believe that if you're going to be going out and like breaking into old people's houses and stabbing them and stealing their jewelry and all this crazy shit, 100% big boy crimes needs big boy times. And then like the truth is, like, I would like to think that the prisons are like it was when I first went to prison, but it's not like that. And there was a time where the older people in the prison would 100% set these youngsters straight. And if you were come into the prison system for breaking into an old person's house, like hurting an old person in any way, shape, or form, or hurting a child or hurting a woman. And people are just doing this all together, like taking whole families hostage. It's just next level. And there were times where if you come into the prison system with those crimes, you would 100% get stomped out and sent off that yard. But not today. Like, it is very common for these people to, like, it's just so common that these crimes take place that, yeah, those things just don't happen in prison anymore. And although there is rules and whatnot, but it's not like it used to be. And yeah, these people, for some reason, I don't know, make it through the breaks and don't get stamped out like they used to. And yeah, I think it's absolutely sad. And like, it's sad for me that that someone like the 16-year-old kid, like, although he's probably not getting charged now, he definitely will be getting charged with something if he was involved in that kidnapping, 100%. And there's the rest of that 16-year-old's life down the drain. He's never ever going to be able to get a job. And I don't know if you people know, but if you've got a criminal record and you've been to prison, so most real estates will not even let you get a house. So these are all the things that you are not told about when you're going into that life. But once you are a convicted criminal and you've been to prison, yeah, it is so hard to get a house. It's so hard to get a job. It is so hard to do anything. So, yeah, it's sad to see. But, yeah, there you go, guys. Another crazy kidnapping. And, yeah, like I said, we're living in crazy, crazy times. Let me know what you think in the comment sections. I think it is absolutely crazy, crazy times that we are living in. And yeah, it's scary for me to think. I've got younger children, and yeah, it's just scary to think what it's going to be like in another 10 years' time. Like, yeah, perish the thought, actually. But yeah, there you go, legends. And if you guys haven't already subscribed and enjoy my stuff, please jump down there, shoot me a subscription. It turns out that somewhere between 55 and 60% of our viewers are still not subscribed. So if you guys are still here watching, you obviously enjoy, please, it would be much appreciated if you shot down there and shot me a subscription. That'd be absolutely appreciated. And if you hit that bell icon, and if you press on that bell icon and hold it, it'll give you the option to pick all or personalize. And if you pick all, you will never ever miss any of the videos that I drop or anything that I do, whether I do a post, a short, a long form video, or a live. You will get a notification on whatever device you watch me on. And once again, guys, we do have paid memberships. I always say they aren't for everybody because they are paid memberships, but it is where you, the paid members, get only content where you get to see because you are a paid member. And once a week, I do a members prize draw for the paid members. And as always, thank you to the members and thank you to the subscribers and viewers. I could not do this without you. And so 100% our Discord link is fixed in my link section again. And yeah, so if you jump over there, all the people that hang out in the live and hang out in the premieres are all over there most days, having a good old chinwag. It's a good place to hang out and have a chat. And yeah, so the Discord link is working again. But as always, guys, you guys have been absolutely legends. We are out of here. But as always, Don't do drugs and crime and you won't end up in prison.